Boy, oh boy, I can't wait for this. So Vin Diesel has finally unveiled the Fast X title for the first half of the 10th and final chapter in the Fast and Furious franchise, which is very creative, a true work of art to name the 10th installment of your film franchise, Fast 10. Let's just go through some of the titles. The titles of the film saga. It's the Fast and the Furious. It's a great title. It really is. Then you have Too Fast, Too Furious. Then you have the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, which is, again, a perfect title. Then you have Fast and Furious, which is confusing in and of itself because the only difference is it's missing the. Then you have Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, The Fate of the Furious 8. This is The Fate of the Furious. F9, ooh, Fast 10, and the untitled 11th film, and then you have the turbocharged prelude for Too Fast, Too Furious. Fast and Furious Spy Racers, that was developed for television. And then you have something that's in development called the Fast Saga and Better Luck Tomorrow. Those are all in development. And, of course, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. And there's supposed to be a Hobbs and Shaw sequel and an untitled female-led film. And the studio that's responsible for this shit is just, they're rolling in their huge Scrooge McDuck vaults of fucking money. Diesel also captioned the photo with Day One, confirming production has started on the new installment, which is being directed by Justin Lin. Again, he's fine. It's going to star Jason Momoa, obviously Vin Diesel, Brie Larson, and a bunch of other people. The two new films are expected to be shot back-to-back with the final installment being released sometime in 2024. The first part is currently slated for theatrical release May 19th, 2023. And with that, welcome to Cinescape Magazine Movie News. So let's get this started. Get ready for the Netflix ads. Netflix is planning to roll out less expensive advertising supported plans alongside its subscription plan. Why don't they just do what Tubi and Pluto and whoever else that is doing a actual good ad-supported streaming service does, which is they run the films as is, and then the ads will play. In the case of Pluto, most of the ads play in between their movies. So they play the movie, once in a while there's an ad, but they play the movie for the most part, and then they run the ad in between. If there's no ad, then it just shows the Pluto, interstitial, and then it goes into the next film. Of course, Pluto is owned by Paramount, so, that's why they can do that. As part of some not so great results with their company's quarterly earnings, Netflix quarterly earnings were down a lot. In fact, they just lost tens of billions of dollars, apparently. But Netflix co-CEO Reed Hastings has revealed the company will be examining what those plans will look like over the next year or two. They're bleeding money because they want to blame sharing, accounts and this and that and the other thing. So they're looking at alternatives instead of just giving good content, which I've already said this prior in the first Cinescape News video. Give good content. Good customer service plus good content equals rolling in dough. You continually do that, you're going to be successful. Look what Disney has done with The Mandalorian. As much as a lot of people fucking hate Disney now, look what they've done with The Mandalorian and Moon Knight and WandaVision and all the other TV shows that seem to be successful, continuing with The Simpsons, that stuff. If you know what your customers want and you give your customers what they want, they will come and they will pay the money. Hastings, who has been adamantly against adopting an AVOD strategy since the company's inception, is now warming up to the idea. Of course he is. Those who have followed Netflix know that I have been against the complexity of advertising, says Reed, and a big fan of the simplicity of subscription. But as much as I'm a fan of that, I'm a bigger fan of consumer choice. Okay. And allowing customers who would like to have a lower price and are advertising tolerant get what they want makes a lot of sense. What doesn't make sense to me is that if you're paying for Netflix, why would you put advertising on there? You're basically double billing everybody. That's bullshit. Give them a free a free service and then put advertising on top of that service and then have a paid subscription service. You could tier it out kind of, like for consumer choice. If all they want is, all the latest movies, or if they want all the stuff that's not available on Netflix, why don't you have a tier for those of us that want to pay for everything? Because you still have movies that aren't available on the streaming service available to rent. Yeah, Netflix still has their DVD service. Amazing. That would be amazing. Hastings adds the fact that AVOD tiers have been embraced by its competitors like Hulu, Disney, and HBO. Although I haven't seen Hulu, Disney, or HBO. I have all three of those. I don't see a Disney Plus alternative yet, although it has been announced. I don't see it available. And HBO, if you get HBO at the regular tier, which is the free service, you only get so much. You don't get everything. So they have it tiered out. And if you pay for HBO, you get everything. And the same with NBC Peacock. You can get the free service, but you don't get everything. So, Netflix could do that. But again, if you're doing advertising on your stuff, you're making a shit ton of money through advertising. And you should just give that stuff for free anyways. But I understand why they're not doing it. I understand why you want to tier it out. I understand why you want to limit selection, because you want those people to pay for everything. Anyways, Hastings adds that when Netflix does launch an ad back tier, it would do so as a publisher without the data tracking and ad matching that some competitors are embracing, which is a fucking lie. That is just straight up pure bullshit. You know it is. They're going to track everything because that's how they get their data. That's how they advertise to everybody else. So you're telling me that they're just going to run ads and it's not going to be tailored to whatever city, state, or, vicinity, north, south, east, west that the people are living in? Give me a break. In gaming news, Sega has finally premiered the trailer and set a June 23rd release date for Sonic Origin, which is an upcoming remastered collection of 4 of their classic titles from the Sonic the Hedgehog game franchise. You can see the trailer below. The original 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic CD, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles from 1994 will all be released. The pack includes both the original Classic Mode releases and full Anniversary Mode remasters with upgraded animations, visuals, infinite lives, widescreen support, additional game modes, and missions. And it allows players to unlock content in an in-game museum. There is also a Boss Rush mode, which allows players to battle the game's bosses back-to-back in quick succession, and a mirror mode in which players traverse mirrored stages. One key defining change is the ability to play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles through any and all stages of these games, allowing for all new ways to play in some classic levels. There are also some new animated sequences similar to those in Sonic Mania and will be played at key moments in the story. Unfortunately, Sega has made purchasing the game oddly complicated by offering multiple versions and locking off some elements as paid DLC. Good job, Sega. Way to go. Milk that Sonic cow for all it's worth. Head to the official site to figure out which version to buy. And from the looks of it, the only way to get everything is to pre-order the Digital Deluxe Edition. Of course, and it's probably, $299. Sonic Origins will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC starting June 23rd. And if that wasn't enough, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are going to reteam for a drama feature revolving around the iconic sportswear giant Nike, which has been set up at Amazon Studios, Skydance Sports, and Mandalay Pictures. So both Affleck and Damon will star in the movie. Affleck is going to direct the film, which is currently untitled and set in the mid-'80s because that's pretty much what everybody is doing right now. Damon is going to play a character named Sonny Vaccaro, who is a maverick sneaker salesman, kind of like kind of like Al Bundy, who led a fledgling running shoe company called Nike in a long-shot effort to sign one of the most transformative athletes in the history of sports to endorse their product, Michael Jordan. Affleck is going to portray Nike co-founder Phil Knight in the story, which follows how the endorsement, seemingly impossible at the time, will become the most significant relationship between an athletic brand and an athlete and launches a global multi-billion-dollar contemporary sneaker industry. I swear to God, I hope they show the sweatshops that they set up in China, to make these fucking shoes, because that's really what happened. Jordan himself is a mythic figure hovering above the movie never seen. In the film, Sonny tries to reach him by gaining access to those close to him and around him. Alex Convery wrote the original script, which was supposed to be titled Air Jordan, and made the 2021 blacklist of the best unproduced screenplays. Affleck and Damon are doing a new pass on the script and will produce, which means generally when they mean new pass on the script, it means that they are making their roles bigger, although let's face it, Good Will Hunting was a pretty good movie. So Amazon has released 2 more photos from their Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series, which show off the characters of Theo and Bronwyn. Specific details of the characters are under wrap. Well, then why show the pictures? While the series will premiere September 2nd. Filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong has confirmed that filming has begun on his next feature, Knock at the Cabin, which is at Universal Pictures. Marking his 15th feature, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint, and Nikki Amuka Bird star, though Plot specifics are under wraps. Criterion has announced their July releases. Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, Bong Joon-ho's Okja, Carl Franklin's Devil in a Blue Dress, and the recent Best Picture nominee Drive My Car are all getting the Criterion treatment with exquisite transfers and loads of supplemental material. In addition, Sofia Coppola's The Virgin Suicides and David Lean's Summertime are getting Blu-ray upgrades. Bull, Okja, Devil, and Virgin will all get 4K UHD versions as well. 3 weeks after the launch of CNN Plus, Warner Brothers Discovery has decided to suspend external marketing for their subscription streaming news service, according to sources for Variety. The decision makes the task of luring new subscribers to the service far more difficult because no one's subscribing to it anyways. None of the CNN Plus shows have been canceled, but the trade indicates essentially everything at the newly formed Warner Brothers Discovery is under review, which means that they are either going to incorporate it into HBO Max or whatever Warner Brothers is doing right now at this time. And it wouldn't surprise me if they did that. If Warner Brothers owns CNN Plus, it's stupid of them to have a separate subscription service for this regardless. And they're not going to sign up for another subscription service when they can get CNN on Hulu or YouTube or wherever else. The Northmen, ahead of its Friday debut, has released a short red band trailer from Robert Eggers' new $90 million Viking saga. The action epic follows a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder and has drawn rave reviews. Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Claes Bang, I hope I said that right, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Bjork, and Willem Dafoe star. Of all of those names, Bjork is the most unexpected one in the list. Bjork. All right, there we go. If you haven't checked it out yet, there is an excellent trailer for Hulu's new miniseries, Candy. And it's based on the true story of Candace Wheeler, who murdered her neighbor Betty Gore, what an unfortunate name, on Friday, June 13th, 1980, after being confronted by Betty for having an affair with her husband. Now, I mean, that's just the basics of it, but still, Jessica Biel is like the next Robert De Niro or Gary Oldman. If you've seen the trailer for Candy, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, check it out. I left a link below. And I got a couple more stories, but this one is disturbing. I was flipping through my YouTube timeline, and the most boring title came up, which is My Life is Being Threatened. And I was just like, that's weird. Okay, I'm going to check it out. And it was just some guy. The channel's name is Stay Metal Ray, and it's one of the most unbelievable band stories I've ever heard, and it's disturbing. So this guy, Ray, who his story, I'm never going to do it just, but here's the basics of what happened. He was on tour with a band called Concrete Dream, and the band was driving through Texas, and he found out that one of the band members was planning on murdering him. It was either before or after, or it may have been during their show in Cincinnati that was coming up. And as he was saying, he's in the vehicle with all the members of the band, and Ray found out that the rest of the band knew that this individual was going to do it. Now, there's a couple of videos. If you go to the website and you listen to the story, My Life is Being Threatened, and you hear him, because he recorded the conversation with this individual, and he has a very distinct voice. And there's another video out there of him recording the band, and the band is about to fight. And this individual who instigated the fight is the same person. So these two YouTube videos that he has, one of them shows what life is like as a band in the band, setting up on stage, doing a quick run through of some of the songs, their live performance, the after show, their interaction with the fans, things like that. And then you have the other video of Ray at home. He had left the band. So Ray recorded the entire conversation, who confessed to planning the murder. Ray isn't touring with the band anymore, and I have never heard of this band called Concrete Dream. I'm not a big fan of their music anyways, as it is. They have a lot of energy on stage, and, they don't sound bad. It is what it is. So I don't know who this Ray guy is or why this story popped up on my timeline. It's beyond me, but I'm glad I clicked the video because this story needs to get out there. Long story short is, an individual in Concrete Dream was planning on murdering this guitarist guy because he had, here's the story. So this individual who is in the band Concrete Dawn with Ray got mad at Ray because Ray didn't say good morning to him. Also, the individual got sick and couldn't sing, so a decision was made to take a day or so for vocal rest, and Danny Diablo from Scarhead made a remark that everyone should just do sign language. But Danny Diablo doesn't know sign language and jokingly made some fake sign language signs, and Ray laughed at that joke. At that point, the individual thought that he was being made fun of, so he confronted Ray about this at a hotel later and wanted to fist fight Ray about it. The situation gets diffused, they move on, they're traveling through Texas and while at a venue, so Ray is part of the social media team as well. So Ray does a lot of stuff and posts videos and tour merch and all this other stuff to the social media for Concrete Dawn. One of the videos that he posted for Concrete Dawn was the stuff that was going on backstage, which concerned this individual and the tour manager. And this is in Texas, in Dallas, in fact. And there was a complete blowout. This individual wanted to fight the tour manager. Ray captured it on video. And then before he did anything, he's like, hey, I wanted to post this on social media. Is that fine? The individual said, yeah, it'll be funny. It's, it is what it is because, this shit happens all the time. Ray posts the stuff on social media, and then later on, it wasn't okay. The individual asked Ray to take the video down and then went on a rant to Ray about everything Ray was doing, and he's just an asshole. Ray's a jerk. He's cold because the army made him cold. He's not, probably not a team member. He's what do they like to say? Oh, he's a solo act in a band situation, all that other shit. So the individual just kept on after Ray, and Ray had recorded some of the conversation, but not all the conversation. And the individual at this point confessed to Ray that he wanted to murder him in Cincinnati. The other members of the band all knew about it, and they said nothing, they did nothing about it. And Ray wasn't able to get the original conversation on record. However, Ray caught a break. They all stopped for gas. Ray puts a pin location on his phone just in case something happens, hits record on his phone, and then finally gets the guy to confess to planning on murdering him in Cincinnati. Now, this entire interaction happens it's like a week, maybe 2 weeks when all this goes down. Early April is when this all happened. And that means that this guy, when he brings up the whole murder thing while they were in Texas a week later, give or take, was planning on doing it anyways. He was mulling it around in his head, or else he wouldn't have brought it up at all, which means that he couldn't stop thinking about it. This guy is dangerous. And it's just, I'm glad that Ray got out of that whole situation. He told the tour manager he's leaving. They're like, oh no, it'll just blow over. Things get heated all the time. And Ray's like, the dude told me he was going to murder me. He was going to bring physical harm upon my person. And you guys are blowing this off like it's no big deal. I'm out. I'll see you later. And he got as close to home as he could, jumped the tour, and then from Chattanooga, Tennessee, he got a U-Haul and drove all the way home to Philadelphia. This is bad. If the tour managers for Concrete Dawn don't care, then that's a problem. It means they're just allowing the stuff to happen. This is not the first time that things like this have happened, whether it has to do with drugs or excessive drinking or whatever else. The tour manager's job is to protect the band. Read any band's biography book and read about all the stuff that has happened in hotel rooms and, happened in other countries and this and that. The tour manager protects the band so that they don't get arrested, or if they do get arrested, they only spend X amount of time in jail, or if they even do any time in jail, the tour manager takes care of it all. It's normal. So with this tour manager, he's probably seen it 100 times. Long story short, Ray did the right thing by getting himself out of that situation because it was going to escalate. So what you could do to help out Ray is check out his Instagram, check out his merch page, and check out his YouTube page. And with that being said, I hope you all have a great day. Ta-ta.